Hello, welcome to week 12 of Reflect and Connect. We are close to the end. I don't know why I made that sound very dramatic, but um, yeah, we're in week 12, which is crazy. Our time is almost coming to an end. But today we're going to be talking about improvisation. Well, let me get this correct. So we're going to be discussing composing and improvising, there we go, in the classroom. So um a couple things that stuck out to me. Let's first go to, I guess, Norgan. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering his name. I think he's our guest speaker for tomorrow. Let's see. Nope, he's not. Okay, it's the letter guy. It's Stringham. That's okay. But one thing that I never really thought of, I think we've gone over it in class, but it's nice to have like that little reminder. But we he talks about where to implement um, improvisation in the classroom in one section in everyday class. He talked about improvising is it's called during warm-ups, which is, I think it's been something we've talked about during class, but it's called, I feel like that's a very good I guess place to implement improvisation because one, you could use a scale, like for example G major, and then have your students um, play different notes of the chords that you're playing throughout the scale. So um, you could either just do, all right, 1 5 4, and then like have it be a pattern, and have your students play um, different notes. So either G, B, or D, and then for the fifth it is D, F sharp, A, and then if you want the seven, C. But it's called, yeah. But let's see. Yeah. During scales, it would be a good way because you could create structure, which is something it talks about, like keeping it structured. So there's different ways you could do it, or um, you could have your students play the scale while you have certain students improvise. But it's also something we've gone over during elementary methods. But one thing that I've um, already knew in terms of improvising is, or implementing is, one thing I viewed my teacher in high school do a lot is he would find pieces that would have sections of improvising in the song. So one for our chamber group, it was like Skylife by David. I can't remember his last name, but there was a section where they have chords above and like repeat as many times as you want, and that he allowed his students or us to improvise during that section. But it was not like he he did that in our beginner ensembles as well. But I can't remember the piece that we did. But one piece that he introduced all of us with is Celia's Cruz, La Vida su Carnival, and in that piece we get to basically improvise. So it's cool seeing how my teacher, he added that right when like we all started at beginners, or if we were going in the beginner group, and then he just kept doing that throughout the different ensembles. um, Now going into Stringham, one thing that stuck out to me was, I guess, looking. I'm trying to find a way of wording it, but basically engaging with your students in terms of looking at the piece and looking at the rep, and like basically discussing why the composers did a certain thing or chose to play a part a certain way or use an accidental in a certain way. So it also talks about in wait, sorry, let me about let's see. Jeez, I can't find it right now. But it talked about growth. Yeah, there you go. Growth mindset. And yeah, most teachers are uncomfortable in terms of composition or even improvisation. But just because we aren't familiar with that pedagogy, um, shouldn't mean we shouldn't um, support or maintain a growth mindset in our classrooms. So, yeah, that's